you'd hate for someone to describe it as like awful listening, wouldn't you? And I was like, yeah, I would. And I was like, actually, I might put described by this person as awful listening. No, the way I describe my podcast so far
Right.
is, when you see a movie trailer and you think that looks really good, and then you go and watch the film, and all the best bits of the film were in the trailer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or there's a bit in the trailer that's really good that's not even in the film.
Yeah. Why do they do that?
I don't know. But that's how I'm describing it to people.
Brilliant.
I mean, obviously it's me being funny and ironic because it's a fantastic show.
You are funny and ironic and modest. I love it.
Okay, Suze, welcome to Rad-Ventures, the podcast that takes you on an exhilarating journey through the lives of business owners and entrepreneurs. Before you give it the old, what's your name and where'd you come from? Of course, I've given everyone your name. I am going to tell everyone a little bit about us. So, both Northerners, BFFs, funpreneurs, spent lots of time at Peppa Pig World, and friends because I said I would hold your hand on one of the rides. And yet, that all said, we've only known each other since July.
I know. It's like a love affair. A very platonic love affair.
Platonic, yes, super. Thanks for putting that bit in. Yeah, like, too late, though. All right, Suze, tell us, what's your name and where'd you come from, then?
Hi, Richard. I'm Suzanne, as you've already mentioned. You can call me Suze, as you do, because you're my friend, and anyone else out there, please call me Suze. It's far easier. I'm a creative copywriter living in the Midlands, formerly Northern, and proudly Northern. I work predominantly with small businesses, but not exclusively, to help them reach their target market, their ideal clients, and connect with them with authentic copy that resonates.
Fantastic. I love it. Now, being from the north, like me, though both now no longer living in the north, probably because it rains a lot up there.
I mean.
But we had this conversation at Poulton's Park when we went to Yellow Tuxedo's Funpreneur Day.
Yes.
I have, obviously, I as you know, I do admin all day, every day, and I have Grammarly on my computer.
Yeah.
Because up north we talk a bit funny, don't we?
We do a little bit. We shorten things. We cut things off. We broaden other things.
We shorten things, and it was Lancashire way we were both, wasn't it?
Well, yeah. So I grew up Lancashire way, but I am very proudly Yorkshire born.
Ah, yeah. So although you grew up West Side, you came from more over east. But so over Yorkshire way, they put a t. They shorten the to t, don't they?
Yeah.
But in Lancashire way, you just avoid the word, don't you?
Yeah.
Avoid, don't shop.
Yeah.
So it's not even a t. It's like a shortened t.
Yeah.
But so the point of the is that obviously we talk funny, but now you are professionally selling words to people. So how do you go from, I'm just nipping down to shop, and then how do you put that into, our clients look at the radiant sun on a beautiful sun meadow shadowy day with water and sparkling, etc.
Amazing. Do you want a job? So what I do is one thing I love doing, and so we've talked about this, about how we both believe we're incredibly funny, and one thing that I've always done is do impressions of people, and that's what I do with my clients when I'm writing in the tone of voice or the style of a person in my head. I'm doing an impression of that person. So I try and spend quite a bit of time with them, either online or, face to face initially before I start doing any writing. And I try and pick up their mannerisms and the way they speak, the words they use, which obviously, then you drill down into tone of voice or professional document maybe for that particular client. But in general, simple terms, I'm doing an impression of somebody else.
So Suze isn't writing the copy. It's Suze's impression of the client is writing the copy.
Now you're cheapening my work.
No, I'm not cheapening it at all. I mean, I know I do a little bit of social media for people. The book is closed on social media. If anyone else wants it, then I've got some lovely people I can recommend. But my current clients, they get to keep it. Unfortunately for me, I'm joking though. Of course, I love doing it. They're probably going to listen to this, so I've got to put that in. But and there's certain words that they say. During casual messages backwards and forwards that you then encompass into those social media posts. So, for example, one of them, I can't say this, but it's probably going to be very obvious who they are. One of the words is they use fabulous.
Yeah.
And it's not a word I use.
Okay.
It's like, fabulous views over the seafront this morning or something.
Sparkling water. Yeah.
Yeah, over the sparkling body of water. And another one uses fantastic all the time.
Okay, yeah.
And I could use a fantastic and I can use a I don't use a fabulous. But I know that those clients use those words. So if I am doing a post for those, then I will be like, fabulous and fantastic and stuff. But yeah, I mean, otherwise, do you have to use the thesaurus a lot during your copywriting or?
No, I find I have quite a good back catalogue. I struggle with modern day stuff. I have to keep updated on what certain acronyms and things might mean. And so I either tap into the Google brain of my 12-year-old daughter. Otherwise, there is obviously the Urban Dictionary online, which is very helpful. But yeah, no, generally it's all locked away quietly in there.
I like it. So I was just thinking about some of those words now. I've got a 12-year-old daughter too, so I know that there's a few words that are nipping around. Riz, obviously short for charisma. Gaiat, I think, is one of the words, but I'm not quite sure on that one.
No.
And then Skibbity or something, is that?
Oh my god!
Is that one?
So I don't know whether this is just because you're further south than I am. I haven't got any of those. No. We're dealing with Sus a lot at the moment.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I think these ones are fairly mediocre, to be fair. But yeah, Sus is a bit. Yeah.
Sus obviously comes from that game. What was it called? It's gone. There's a little game where you kill people and your shipmates, and there's a monster on board, and you kill everyone, and then you sus that person.
Oh yes, that's
Can't remember.
Games are amazing. I can see it. They're just like little men.
I know what the little astronauts look like. There's a red one, a green one, an orange one. Yeah,
that's really weird. I know exactly. Yeah.
Anyway. All right, no worries. Whatever that game is, that's obviously where Sus comes from.
And then one came up last weekend, which is really not very nice. But Tour and Hawk Tour, and I had to look that up. Yeah, and I was like quite worried because I was in a place where you could buy earrings with that written on, and I was like, "What is this?"
Ah, well, I reckon that the creator of that, in inverted commas for listeners, because I understand that she actually is a plant from a big corporation. They want to see if they can make a social media influencer. Of course, that's a massive conspiracy theory.
I love your conspiracy theories,
and it's unfact checked completely.
Oh my
so
God.
Nobody hold me to it. But as I understand it, she will sue anyone that has unofficial merchandise.
Oh, she needs to get down to the festival I was at.
Yeah.
But then I found it quite disgusting, that one. Didn't like it.
Yeah, but I mean, it just went, and I'm obviously not suitable for 12-year-old kids.
No, not at all. To be fair, it wasn't actually my daughter saying that one, so that's all right. But yeah, cool. I do love a conspiracy theory, though. I know we spoke about this quite a lot when we had our. I mean, we are, very, very good friends now, and you will never be rid of me. But obviously, we've only met once, face to face, a couple of months ago.
Yes.
But we did talk about conspiracy theories, and it's just not something I'm up on at all. And you and our friend Laura, you blew my mind. You blew my mind with all the things that you talked about. I'm still not over the Avril Lavigne one.
Yes, of course, that referring to Avril Lavigne unfortunately died, but they replaced her. And Melanie was perhaps the replacement, I think her name was. Though I have slept a few times since July when I was spouted about that one. But, yeah, I mean, all I can put it down to is far too much time on Instagram.
Yeah. See, Instagram's not feeding me that. We've got a different algorithm entirely. I'm
Maybe
getting
they
a lot of
split
stuff
it
about
depending on where you are
mushrooms.
in the country.
Yeah, yeah, well, that's it. That's all it is. I get a lot of stuff about mushrooms and perimenopause. Entirely different.
Yes, yes. I can't imagine why. I would be slightly worried if I did get that off on my FYP.
Yeah, but do you know what? It wouldn't take much, would it? You just need one, and you look at that advert for too long, and you're in.
That's
That's
it.
it.
Yeah. Though to be fair, mushrooms is in like supplements, yeah.
Yeah, supplements. Yeah, not. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, they're all the same mushrooms, but yeah, there's the supplements, just less of the volume, isn't it?
Ah, yes. I am interested in those. I do take lion's mane every day.
Yes, I seem to recall you saying yes. I take lion's mane every day, and I'm quite interested. Is it cordyceps, the other one that's supposed to be quite good?
Oh, I don't know. I have just started taking ginkgo
Biloba.
biloba.
Yeah.
Yeah, biloba. Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's good for brain function, right? Because it's blood flow.
Don't know. Just read that it went well with lion's mane, so I was like, yeah, okay. We'll try anything at this point.
I used to live in Germany, and just down the road from me was a B&B, and that was called Ginkgo biloba, and I was like, oh, a B&B that's good for your blood flow. Interesting.
Ah, well, of course,
What are you doing there?
ginkgo is a tree, obviously, isn't it? Yes, it's a tree from over East Way,
Okay.
Japan, I think.
Ah, right. No, I mean, this was just in middle Germany.
Well, fun story. Just before we move on to what did you want to be when you were a kid?
Yeah.
One of my clients is an arboricultural consultant, so he
Wow.
deals with trees.
Yes.
So as you can, I do quite a bit for him. I help with his reports. I book his site visits. I help with his fee proposals, etc.
Brilliant.
So, as you can imagine, I read quite a bit about trees through these reports and through all these tables and everything like that.
Yeah.
So, the other day, I was doing a game called Strands from the New York Times.
Yes.
It's basically a crossword, but they give you a clue, and then you have to work out what all the words are. So, the crossword was, I can't remember, something to do with implied trees. Then, first word I see is sycamore. So, I'm like, okay. So, I smashed out the first 7.
Yeah, and you're feeling
And then
right.
I'm like, boom, done.
Absolutely.
And but then I look at the word that's left on this word search grid, and obviously I can see what letters there are, and I'm like, how am I going to arrange all those? You know, I've got 2 G's, an I, an N, a K, and an O. So no idea. Yeah, but then worked it out obviously through a series of elimination.
Brilliant.
Then mentioned it to my partner. She was like, oh yeah, and then not like 10 seconds later, she sends me a reel all about the benefits of taking this supplement with lion's mane. I was like, the phone is literally listening.
Everyone's listening. And now you've got your new phone. It's going to listen to even more.
Yes, it will listen to even more. Cool, right. More on that later on. So, we've gone on a little side quest there, Suze.
I know.
Normally I'm at about 4 minutes by the time I get to when you spoke to the school advisor, but we're currently at 12, so good job. Pat on the back. We may be in for our longest episode yet.
Oh God, don't say that.
I think it's 109 to beat.
Now.
109 to beat. Okay, so when we're quite a similar age, of course, though you're only 21.
Yours.
When I was at school, I got to see the school careers advisor, and obviously you were in a similar locale to me, because apparently my partner, who lived on the south coast back in them days, or she still does, obviously, she never saw a school advisor for careers.
That's interesting because neither did I.
So they didn't do that over in Southport Way.
Well, I feel like they did. I have a vague recollection of there was someone that was like a careers person, but they just shouted at us about different things. And I remember a computer program, very basic, which was like, do you like yes or no? Do you like yes? And that, something came out at the end. And I'm pretty sure that it was something along the lines of something like horticulturist or something.
Right.
Which at my, tender age of 15, when I was in it, 14, 15, I was like, it's not cool. And then you take this off and you go and see someone and they help you arrange your work experience. So I ended up in Debenhams in the women's wear department because that's linked heavily to horticulturism. So
yeah, of course.
And because I was under 16, I wasn't allowed on the tills because they were the rules back then, whether they still are. Well, Debenhams is gone, in fact. So I was on, they called it merchandising, but it was stock rotation. So it's basically making sure that everything was in size order in the old Shore Ladies department, which was high polyester content. So the more time I spent there, the more of an electrical charge I built up. And I've always got quite short hair, as you can see. For those, I do have short hair. And it would just slowly come up as if I'd been rubbing a balloon. I would get quite a lot of static electricity in my body. And once I got close to anybody, I would discharge my electricity.
Oh, no.
So that was the highlight of my 2 weeks of...
Cool. Just let me stop you there. Sorry, Suze. The dog wants to go out. Sorry, 2 secs.
Just Phil, will this get cut? This is awkward. I was going to try and film, but then I realised I'm not that funny.
The other day, someone on like one of my episodes. Hello, let me bring me back in focus. One of my episodes the other day, a guy needed to go nip off to, kind of blow his nose, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so I was just kind of sat there for like a tiny little bit, and I was like, what should I say? And I was like, this would be the perfect opportunity to like, so thanks for listening to the Rad-Ventures podcast. This is a self-funded project where I have to pay for Riverside currently monthly. But if you did fancy helping out and you do enjoy the show, please do consider giving to me via my Ko-fi link.
Yeah.
£3.50 donations are much appreciated. And then we'll put you on our Instagram stories or something.
Yeah.
So I was going to fill it in with that. And I just kind of looked and I was like, okay, let's do it. We thought about it long enough. So I was like, so thank you for... And then he turned back up. Hi, sorry about that. I was like, sorry.
But you've done it now.
I know. Though genuinely at the end of the show, there probably will be one of those that I'll have to re-record. I'll have to record separately. And I'll probably have to cut the bit out where I interrupt you and be like, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to let the dog out.
I mean, you can. You could, or you could cut that little bit, but only a little bit where I just stand there going, what? Take that out.
When you're on the camera, like, huh?
Well, I didn't even do that. I just looked at my dog who's off camera, so I was just talking to myself.
I had one yesterday where the camera cut out. We lost signal.
Oh no!
So I was just kind of like, hello, Dave, are you there?
Yeah.
Dave, can you hear me? I was like, oh man. And then when I was like, I think I've lost you, Dave. And I was like, oh. And then I stopped the recording.
Yeah.
Started the recording. He came back in.
Yeah.
I said, oh, we lost you. And he goes, oh, sorry about that. Restarted the recording. I was like, don't worry. I'll go exactly where I left off from.
Yeah.
So anyway, this guy's talking about his AC Cobra. And then, like, Riverside had linked it together into, like, 2 projects. But then when I clicked full episode, it did merge them.
Oh, wow.
And actually, the cut went really well.
Oh,
I was sat there going, hello, we've lost you. And I went, oh, we had a few technical issues there. But anyway, so this guy's talking to me about his AC Cobra. And that was that.
That's amazing. I love that. So you've just advertised your own coffee link, your donations link.
Yeah.
You just, bigged up Riverside, so you should be getting some commission there as well.
Affiliate link available if required.
There we go. We are banging it out for Radmin today.
I'll set them up, you knock them down. Right, anyway. So you've told us about your work experience, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
You told us that you thought potentially you might have to be a horticulturalist.
I still don't think I know what it is properly, but no. That was never the dream. Never the dream.
So what aspirations did you have then?
Do you know what? This is going to sound really, really bad. I had very few. Because I never really knew. I think I knew I didn't want to do anything, what's the right word, like a well-trodden path, if that makes sense. So the very sort of standard things, like I didn't want an office job. I didn't want to work 9 to 5. I didn't want to work for someone else. Like both my parents worked full time, enjoyed their jobs from what I could tell. But I just wanted to do something different. I always wanted to do something different. So when I went off to uni and stuff, I picked media. Without any definitions around it. It was literally just media with a bit of business on the side. And then I dropped out of uni because I was like, no, I don't like it. And then I got an office job. And I
Yeah,
wanted,
like I don't want to do a 9 to 5. I don't want to work in an office.
Yeah.
So what do you end up doing, Suze? I worked in an office.
What, 9 to
9 to
5
5.
for 25 years?
Nice. So which uni did you go to then?
I did less than a year at Trinity and All Saints in Horsforth, Leeds.
Oh, okay. My brother went to university in Leeds for a time.
Oh, Leeds is amazing. I love Leeds. That's
Yeah,
where I'm originally
we
from.
we enjoyed it when we visited.
Yes, it's wonderful. It's wonderful.
Yeah. Cool. You made it further than me though, because I applied for uni, and then was like, I don't actually want to go, so
Yeah.
I didn't.
Which is fair enough. I think there still is to a certain extent. I think there's more option now for kids, but and there's less pressure. But I know going to uni was a sign of success. It was what you did. It was the natural order of things. And there's a theme coming in here. I'd already dropped out of A levels, and so I'd worked for 2 years and then gone back and done my A levels again. So starting then at uni, so being in full time, so I couldn't even work the part-time hours I'd been doing with my A levels. I was just like, oh my god, like I was earning money before, and now this is rubbish. And it's like it snowed a lot in Leeds. I love Leeds, but the weather is rough. And I had to walk miles to get on my bus because I wouldn't go into halls because I was 2 years late, and I was like, oh no, I feel too old. Who was I kidding? So I ended up living more in the centre of Leeds with loads of friends from back home in Southport who'd already been at uni 2 years. So they were acing it and living this amazing life. And I was like, I want to do what church. So I just didn't go. I just never went.
Oh dear.
So, yeah.
An experience though, life experience. That probably has helped form the Suze we know today.
Right. Exactly. And so lots of good stuff came out of it. If I hadn't been living in Leeds, so if I hadn't aimed to go to uni and started there, and then if I hadn't dropped out and got the job and stayed and for the few years that I did, I then wouldn't have met my now husband, who, because I got an awful lot of opportunities, ended up living in different countries, getting brilliant jobs and loads of experience, and obviously my 2 beautiful children and things like that. So everything happens for a reason.
Yes, of course. So tell us then. I'm sorry, I don't mean to skim over that.
Yes, of course. It's really boring. Shush.
Yes, of course. Please do move on. No, that's hopefully at this point in the show that people have been listening from the start. Hopefully they know that bit of northernness that I have.
Yeah.
It's an endearing. Moving on.
I mean, I took it well, so that's the main thing.
Yeah, I mean, some people are probably like, "Oh my god, Richard's filler words are rubbish." He's like, I love it.
Rude.
Awesome.
She is boring, but why did you tell her?
No, not at all. It is very interesting. But I want to talk about your 9 to 5, your 25 years in office work.
Yes. Literally from start to finish, or do you want me to go in the middle?
Well, there's only so much time that people are going to want to listen to the episode. Right, so, okay. If you could give us like the cliff notes in inverted commas.
The cliff notes.
Tell us how you got there. Tell us a little bit about the beginning, middle, and end.
Beginning, middle, and end. So I went and signed up with a recruitment agency, and I worked with them for a long time on their reception, and then they started to train me slightly for recruitment, and then that wasn't going to work. They then placed me, and I worked with a guy whose main business income was his father's uniform printing business. So they bought in uniform, and then they would either logo it or whatever. But he also had a lot of property and gentlemen's clubs. So one of my jobs was to help furnish and employ people for the gentlemen's clubs. So that was a whole life experience.
Okay. Let's pause there a second. Otherwise, I will lose my train of thought and we won't get the juicy goss. So when you say gentlemen's club, are we thinking old men smoking cigars sat in corners of rooms reading books?
Oh, no,
or are we thinking the other one?
The other one with the red curtain.
Those ones. And the shiny
poles.
poles. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Well, it must be quite interesting furnishing those. Yes. And hopefully they were higher end, so you weren't just looking for red velvet and it didn't look like a social club from the 70s.
No, absolutely.
With chicken in a basket.
Yes, and the first one opened in Wakefield, in Wakey. So yeah, they went really high class. No, he did. It was an interesting position. Yeah. And then I left because it just was a little bit inappropriate. The whole thing. There's a long story there, which we won't go into. But I think he's now spent some time in prison, so that's fine. And then I moved to Germany because that is where my now husband was already based, and I found a job at the European Central Bank, which is where I've spent the majority of my working life, working in European finance, in the economics department, helping to organise and administrate the proposals around the interest rate for the euro. For 20
That sounds quite interesting.
Yeah, no, it was really interesting, but it didn't light a fire in my soul.
No, I would imagine that was one of those where you were there for the money rather than the other bits.
Yes. Well, yeah, and I mean, it was a great place to work. It was fantastic, and I met a lot of very interesting people. I've got some brilliant friends, and it was important what we were doing, what they're still doing. But obviously things changed, like with Brexit and things like that, and then even more changed with legislation following COVID, and it just became not doable because I'd moved back to the UK and I was commuting over twice a month, and it just wasn't doable anymore. So
no.
Saw that chance and changed my life, she said with great excitement.
Is that how you ended up being the copywriter you are today?
Yes, pretty much. So when I was on maternity with my second child, who's now 9, so quite a while ago, I enjoyed that maternity way more. And so I thought, oh, maybe I don't want to go back. So I did some retraining, and there was a course online for social media management. Digital mums, which I'm sure plenty of people have heard of. And so I did that training, and then, started doing some little bits of work for people I knew. Quickly realised, and this is a little along the lines of what you might have alluded to earlier, that social media wasn't for me. I prefer for longer pieces of copy, basically, something that you can really tell a story with, and social media wasn't for me. And so I always knew I was going to go back to work at some point, but German law is amazing, and you get 3 years unpaid leave per child, which you can accrue, and I only took 6 months from my first one, so I was able to take 5.5 years off unpaid, but they still held a job for me. So I had this time to decide what to do, and I'd made contacts, and I'd realised, found out more about marketing and the use of copy within it. And I've always enjoyed writing. It's something I did as a kid. I'd write stories. I'd send my friends letters with long stories, and I've written my kids' stories. It's just something that's been in and around. And I've always said I wanted to write a book, which has never materialised. But it was that outlet. It was a creative outlet for me, doing something I really enjoyed. With the contacts I found, that needed blogs writing or newsletters. And then that developed into some website copy, and so I had a couple of small clients, even though I returned to work because that was the best thing financially for the family. But yeah, when the time came 2 years ago nearly now, when it was clear I was going to leave the bank in Germany, rather than looking for a very similar job local to me, or it wouldn't be local, it would have to be a commute into a bigger city, I took the plunge, joined some business memberships, and set up my own copywriting business.
Nice, I like it.
There you go.
Cool. So, Aspirations for the Future, obviously write that book.
This is it, yes. It is. There was one in process already, and I was quite excited about it. I like this one, yeah, it's good, I've got it. And I plotted it all out, and I started doing stuff with it. And this is a few years back, and I turned on the TV, and I don't know if you watched it or anyone watched it, but it was Keeping Faith on BBC. It's set in Wales. And that was literally my story. Well, so basically the husband disappears and the woman is blamed. And I was like, but you're... So no, there's another one in the pipeline. So yeah, I do keep plugging away. And that's definitely, I would love that, but yeah.
I look forward to that.
Thanks.
I look forward to reading it when it comes out, whatever it may be about. I'm fairly sure that my brother invented Furbies before they came out.
There you go. You see, it's tough, right?
Yeah, he had loads of drawings on it was actually an old wallpaper that we were using. You'd roll it out and then you draw on the back of it.
Good times, yeah.
Like you do up north.
Up north.
We can't have A4 sheets of paper, reams of paper
Waste
everywhere. We've got wallpaper. Yeah, old wallpaper. There you go. Draw on the back of that.
Yeah.
And he drew loads of these little creatures, and I'm telling you now, they look like Furbies.
Oh my god.
And then, a couple of years later, Furbies come out.
That's unbelievable. In his head, were they talking and following you around the room and scaring the shit out of you?
Didn't know how far they got with the old, how real, how the real life version would have worked, but they definitely look like it. I can see them now.
Oh.
Yeah, but there you go. So robbed, pipped to the post.
Shout out to your brother. We know you were there first.
Shout out to my brother, who probably won't listen to this, but shout out to him for potentially having invented Furbies. And someone, this was like late 90s, so no one would have seen it. It's not like the phones were listening back then.
No.
Well, I hope not, anyway.
No, exactly. But imagine if it had happened. They're still going. They keep regenerating these Furbies. You go into Toys R Us and they're still there.
I've seen on Instagram, I've seen someone make a four-legged one so they could kind of turn it into a dog.
Oh my god, I feel a little bit sick.
It was pretty creepy. It was a bit like that Sherlock episode where they had that magical killing machine,
Yeah. Or The Thing.
Weird.
You ever see The Thing? The movie The Thing? Where a guy's head turned into a spider?
Oh no, I don't think I've seen that.
Yeah, that's just things from my nightmare.
Yeah, I don't watch scary movies because I can't sleep if I go to bed.
Let's take that out of your head.
Yeah. Yeah, take that out of my head. Yeah, and that moves me on to when we were at Poulton's Park.
Yes.
We briefly discussed penguins.
Yeah.
And then when we were talking about the penguins, I said we can't talk about penguins because that reminds me of Robin Williams in Happy Feet.
Yes.
And so we can't talk about him because it's too sad. And it was just recently, I think it was 10 years ago since he passed.
Oh wow! Okay.
Because he was a hero of my childhood, certainly.
Yeah.
He was in all the films, wasn't he? Mrs. Doubtfire, Flubber,
everywhere,
Jumanji, everything.
Yep. Patch Adams, yep.
And so he was that hero.
Yeah.
And then he kind of obviously had his issues, and then obviously passed.
Yes.
Which I find even if I see someone on social media and I see his face, I'm like, nope. I skip it straight away. But it's just been 10 years, and I think it's now time.
Okay.
I was thinking about watching one of his films the other day.
Oh, yeah? Which one?
Yeah. Well, have you seen RV?
No.
Oh, so basically he's like a high-powered exec advertising kind of guy.
Right.
And he decides he wants to kind of reconnect with his family, so he hires an RV, as in a recreational vehicle.
Thank you for our US listeners. Yeah.
Most welcome. Condescending is talking down to people. That's my favourite one. You can have that one for free. I used to say that to a few customers at when I worked on a front desk.
Yeah.
No, didn't go down too well.
No.
Anyway. So
go on. So you're going to watch RV, but have you seen?
Oh yeah.
Good Morning Vietnam.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
That's
it must have been many years since I have.
Absolutely amazing. But one of my very favourite movies, which no one else seems to get onto, I've honestly recommended this to so many people, and it's not funny. It's not a funny Robin Williams movie, but it's like What Dreams May Come.
I don't know if I've seen it. I might have done though.
So it's one that I would put on when I was feeling overly emotional and I needed to cry. It's really very sad. But I loved it. But then I've spoken to other people and they're like, that's one of his worst films. If you've not seen it and you're going to cry anyway.
I think there was one where he was a bad guy. It's 1 hour photo. Have you seen that one?
Yeah, that was really good. I really liked
though,
that.
Wasn't it? I used to quite like Bicentennial Man. I watched that quite a few times. Have you seen that one?
No.
That was where he turned into he's an android robot and then he wanted to become human. So he kept buying himself humanoid parts with his wage. Yeah, and then eventually he looked like Robin Williams actually looked like, instead of Robin Williams in a robot suit.
That's just really sad.
Yeah, I know, it is bad. But yes, I think I'm there. So to give you an update from July, when we spoke last on Robin Williams, I think I'm going to watch one of his films. I think I could probably watch a social media post without crying.
Yeah.
But actually, I did put something on my post today about it. It was basically like, you don't know what other people are going through. Always be kind. And it was Robin Williams' face.
Yes.
Yeah, good. So there we go. We've updated on that. All right.
But I thought you were linking to that because we'd just spoken about Sherlock Holmes and.
Oh yeah, no.
Benedict
That was how I got
can't
there.
say penguins.
No, he can't. That was how I got there. But that I just thought we'll have a little Richard moment on Robin Williams.
Oh,
And I know
sorry,
you. I know you appreciate. No. That was the journey my brain went through. It was
Love
like Suze, Sherlock,
Yeah.
Benedict Cumberbatch can't say Penguin.
Penguin.
We were at the Penguins. We talked about. We talked about Robin Williams at that point, and so quick update there for you.
I think it's good though that you've just laid out that roadmap, because people are going to get to know you a lot better through this now.
I had someone the other day talk to me about how my brain must work, and I was like, "You don't want to know." He was like,
and then you stroked your beard and looked the other way, broke down the fourth wall.
He was like, you really need an internal monologue.
Yeah.
I was like, why? Yeah. He's like, because of the way you talk, you just spurt everything out. I was like, haha, what if I told you that the internal monologue does that before I talk? And he's like, oh. I was like, yeah, I like to compare it to, you know when someone says, oh, my head's like a Chrome browser, I've got multiple tabs open, two of them have crashed, and where's that music coming from? Yeah. Well, the music I discovered the other day is actually a song by Muse.
Good choice.
I'm going to tell you which one. I'm going to look it up. Hang on. Well, I'm not going to play it, obviously, because of copyright. But I'm just going to look up the name. Because if you know this song, then you're like, oh, my God. And that's what it's like in my head. Take a bow. There you go.
Okay, good. I'm going to look that up. I know Muse, but I don't know that one. But I might know if I heard it. But I will look it up afterwards.
All in my head all the time. So there you go. Getting to know Richard a bit more. Thanks to co-host Suze.
Yeah, as on a personal advice, maybe you could just consider starting something like a Shakespearean soliloquy, just every so often, so that those around you actually know what's going on in there.
Yeah, I'm going to get one of those skulls.
Yeah.
And I could talk to that.
Just every so often, pull it out your bag, have a little chat with it, and everyone else will know what's going on in Radmin world.
Yeah. Cool.
Brilliant.
Right.
Moving on.
Moving on. Cool. Right now, yes. Where you've lost me now is you're taking my host spot. We'll be calling this the Susan Freya podcast soon.
Yeah. That's
it's in the works. Heard it here first on Rad-Ventures. There you go. Suze is starting her own podcast.
He's not.
Right. So, quick fire questions round now section.
Love it.
These were meant to be like a little bit of a breaker-upper of the show. Humanise Suze, so everyone knows that she does like other stuff other than copywriting. And also, this is our opportunity to tie admin into it, though we've done quite well so far.
Yes, okay.
So, as previously mentioned, the aforementioned comment on age. Do you like that one? Aforementioned. It's one of my favourite words. All right, here with the question.
Go for it.
We know you're 21.
Yeah.
That was a wink for the listeners.
This is going to be very confusing.
So, what has been your favourite age so far?
So I know it's 26. Literally the end. I don't know why.
Okay, full stop? Yep. Or no elaboration?
I think it was just really good times. No kids. That's harsh. I adore them. But no kids. We weren't married. We were living abroad. We both had full-time jobs. We could go on the holidays we wanted to. We could go out for a meal if we wanted to. The life was carefree, easy. It was good. Everyone was happy, healthy and well, generally, in my family, which, I know, life changes and stuff, but things were good. 26, I always say it, 26 was my year. And it's gone.
Well, you can't look at it as it's gone.
No, I've lived it,
you lived it, loved it, and you can only improve from there.
Do you think?
Yeah, the kids will be grown up soon, they'll fly the nest.
Thank God. Yeah. No, don't go. She started secondary school. That broke me a little bit yesterday.
Oh, was that yesterday? Was that the first kind of year 7 day?
Yeah.
Oh, bless. I think because I'm obviously at home more than my partner. She works early mornings till mid-afternoon.
Yeah.
So I was doing the school run for year 6.
Yes.
And then this time last year it was time for year 7. So I was like, "You want me to walk with you?" And she said, "Yeah. Well, apparently we're going to go meet this person." And so all the other kids I was like, yeah, I'll come with you. I'll walk with you. Off we go. All the other kids, apart from one, they were all just meeting all their friends, and off they went.
Yeah.
And off they went, and it was just me and this one other mum, and with friends of our daughters.
Okay.
And she was just like, "Oh, they're off," and I was like, I thought I was like going to take her to the gates or something, but no, she wants to go off with her friends. And one of the lads there, Charlie, he was like, "I'll march you all to school. Come on, I'll protect you all. Come on, girls."
Oh.
Yeah, bless him.
And then you punched him, and it didn't end well.
No.
It went well.
Yeah, he's a good lad, Charlie.
Oh, good.
But there you go.
I did drive my daughter to school yesterday, which is a whole other story because we didn't get a place on the bus. But so there's her and a friend down the road. I drove them there. It was torrential rain yesterday morning. So there's all these girls going into year 7, and they have spent time making this look as good as possible to impress this whole new year. And then the rain came down, and everything got washed away. I couldn't get close to the school. Obviously, everyone's trying to get close to the school. I got them out the car in the torrential rain, put them under an umbrella, and I just kicked them across the road and was shouted, "See you later!" That was it. That was the emotional farewell. And then I had to get back in the car with the 9-year-old and assure him we'd make it home in time for his school time. So yeah, there was no emotion, devoid.
No.
But yeah, growing up, it's tough.
It is tough. It's tough when you remember them being very small, and then all of a sudden they're back chatting you.
Yes.
And you're like, what are you saying to me? Why?
No, exactly. You don't know what they're saying. They're rolling their eyes. And do you just have the one child?
Just the one, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's good. That's a good idea because they gang up on you otherwise. So they share little jokes, and like you'll try and tell them off, and they'll both laugh at you, and you're like, what's going on? Yeah.
Yes. I don't think I would be made for that. I think I'd probably just curl up and go cry in a ball. Like, they're bullying me. The 12-year-old and the 9-year-old, they've got me. I'm on the ropes. Cool. So 26.
26, yes.
To answer the question.
Yes,
nice.
it did.
We did answer the question. Good. Mini side quest there complete. Right. Question 2.
Yes.
What is your favourite quote? This could be a movie, a meme, a motivational, or other quote.
So I believe at the moment. So I'll say 2 because there's one from Michelle Obama, which is the easiest way to dismiss the words of a woman is to wrap them in scorn. So if you, I'm sure there are plenty of, I mean, maybe you've heard it yourself, but I know that as a woman, and I know that other people have said they've heard it, if you say something strongly, just because you're annoyed, you're not taken seriously because you're speaking out. So if they can label you as pissed off or upset or hard done to or feeling sorry for yourself, then no one needs to take you seriously. And that is one quote from Michelle Obama that I think expresses it really, really wonderfully.
Yes, and an upsetting subject. I truly believe that women are the far greater sex, and all things should be equal.
Yeah.
And I was listening to a podcast back in March time around International Women's Day, and obviously I'm half raising a daughter with my partner.
Yeah.
So I want the best for her, the best world for her.
Yeah.
And she is my inspiration. A little hail raiser. I give them hell kind of kid.
Yeah.
And so I'm listening to this podcast on International Women's Day, or it's just after, and this podcast was I won't go into names or anything, but essentially 5 women co-hosts, and work in a similar industry to me, but they basically man bashed for like 5 minutes.
Oh, okay.
And I was kind of like, didn't expect this morning.
Yeah.
But fair enough. But then they went into a story to say that they knew a man and a woman who'd both got the same job or both got promoted at the same job.
Yeah.
But the man was getting paid more for doing exactly the same job. And I was like, not cool, man. Not cool in this day and age.
No, it's
I don't
not.
understand it. I don't know why it happens.
No.
I can only apologise on behalf of all men.
Thank you.
Say men are knobs.
Not agreeing knobbish of men. It's not just all bog standard, they're all across the board knobs.
No, across the board.
Oh,
That's
okay.
it.
Yeah, I mean, you probably know better.
Yeah, you heard it here on the Rad-Ventures podcast. No,
but on
of
a
course
lighter
not all.
note, on a far lighter note, the other quote that I keep saying at the moment, and I have no idea where it's from, or even what it means, but it's pull the lever, Grog, not that lever. Have you? No, just me. So my kids are always saying it. Pull the lever, Greg, not that lever, like that. No,
I've not heard that one.
Well, then I saw there was a woman on Instagram.
Yeah.
On a bungee jump, and she did it, and I was like, it's a thing.
Oh, it's a real thing.
There you go.
Oh, I quite like it though. It's like that. You know I nod. When I nod my head, you hit it. As in, if someone's going to hit a nail. So one of them's got a nail, one of them's got the hammer, one's holding the nail, and he says, right.
When
I nod my head, you hit it, and then when he gets hit in the head with the hammer,
yes.
He's a bit annoyed because he meant hit the hammer.
Hit the nail.
Hit the nail. Yeah. I like that quote because apparently from my A-level psychology days, I also remember that one of the last men to be hung in the UK was based on a misunderstanding of that same phrase in that the police officer asked for a gun. Yeah. Asked for the gun, and one of the cohorts says, "Let him have it." So is that let him have the gun, or is that giving him some bullets?
Yeah.
Or a bullet, probably back in them days.
So, did you know the last hangman in Britain retired to Southport?
Did he? Is that Albert Pierpoint?
Pardon?
Was that Albert Pierpoint?
Pierpoint, yes.
He had a pub, didn't he?
I don't know that much. No.
Yeah, I think it was called the Hangman.
In Southport?
I think so.
I don't know. Maybe.
No.
But I'm
fact checking.
Facts, full of them.
No.
Red Rum.
Yeah.
The horse also retired to Southport.
Who did? Red Rum. Oh, we were talking about Grand National horses the other day. I always used to have Mini Homer was always put on that for me.
Okay.
Because I think he had like psychedelic yellow and psychedelic pink. The jockey, that's the colours he wore. So I went with that one.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Jean Alexander. Southport. I know, I'm full of it. Mark Almond's from Southport. Miranda Richardson. I could just, Because, do you know as well, and I know that many people will know, there's a lot of bad stuff now around Southport. There's some very sad news obviously came out of there recently. And then what followed it has just been, fairly rubbish in Southport. But there's a lot of good stuff. And the people in Southport have pulled together in the most amazing way following this and have supported each other. So sending love very much to my hometown of Southport. And
Southport represent.
Absolutely.
As long as it's in a positive way and not taken to the streets.
Please.
Yes. Cool. Right. Let's go for question 3 then.
Yes, do it.
Google Suite or Microsoft 365?
I'm using more of Google Suite at the moment, and that's because it came with my website subscription.
Oh.
I'm just going to make an apology. I don't know whether you can hear my dog in the background.
I can't hear the dog.
Oh, that's good. He keeps sneezing because he's trying to chase a fly. But anyway, so so I'm using Google Suite. Moving on from the Labrador, a bit clunky. That's about probably all I have to say on it. I am not tech minded.
No, a lot of people do say they are moving more towards Google Suite, and some people love it, some people hate it. I use both, but I prefer Microsoft for some strange reason, probably my age. But
you're not as old as me, I don't think.
No, I don't think I am. Respectfully, obviously. But I think we established this on our Funpreneur Day. But not the Microsoft thing, the age thing.
Yeah.
But obviously glossing over that one, because you never ask a lady her age. It's not very gentlemanly. So Google Suite, a lot of people do like it. I do think it's a bit clunky.
Yeah. I don't think the interfaces work well together, which it doesn't make sense because the things within the suite should work well together, but they don't. And that doesn't make sense to me. But it's not bad enough that it causes me any worry. It's just like one of those things.
You're not putting any complaints in for the free software, are you?
No, I'm not. I've not written a letter yet.
Okay, doke. Question 4.
Yes.
If you're stranded on a desert island, with what app could you not live without? Obviously, it's a hypothetical situation. You just got to really pick an app that's your favourite because you couldn't be on a desert island.
I need a PowerPoint for my phone. There's a lot going on in there. Which app? If I looked at what I use most on my phone, it's my banking app. I don't think I'd need the banking app on a desert island. So, desert island, you're saying it's hot. I won't use the weather app. If I could be in touch with people, they'd come and get me, so I wouldn't be on the desert island. This is a whole...
I think it's like it's more of a lack of question. So if you're on your desert island, your phone's not working, you're stranded there. What are you missing? What are you like? Oh, if only I had that app to keep me sane.
To keep me sane, not get in touch and get saved.
No, it's to keep you sane. So you're dehydrated. You've been on this desert island for God knows how long. You've seen a vision of yourself talking to yourself, and the vision is like, Suze, I wish we had this app with us now, so that would either entertain us for a little bit or keep us, sidetracked.
I don't like my phone that much to feel like that. I love that you've really tried. Because the thing is for me, I feel quite pragmatic about it. I'd want to know the reasoning behind each one. It wouldn't be my photo app. I mean, Snapchat could keep me busy for a while, but who else am I going to share them with? I'd find it more depressing. I'd rather just have a book.
Okay, so let's say you've got Kindle Unlimited then on your phone. Yeah. So you've missed that one.
Yeah.
Okay, you'd miss reading essentially.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm good at that.
That's what you do.
There you go. You set them up, you knock them down. Okay, good. Yeah, I mean, that question for the desert island, it is a lack of more than a what can you take with you, which has taken me like 12 episodes to realise that, really.
There you go. Right.
And you're not the only one to kind of get stuck on the details of it. One time we were talking about if your phone was waterproof, how many feet is it waterproof to? So if you're pushed out of a helicopter, for example, in the sea to get to the desert island, how many meters are you going to go down?
A few.
Where your phone will still be waterproof before you kind of get to the sea, and then you're like, oh, my phone, it's not waterproof. It's gone 10 meters. It's gone beyond 10 meters. It's not working.
I'd say the impact from falling from a helicopter might do it.
I don't know. It depends. If you've got a new fancy one with all those glass covers, then maybe.
Yeah, but
you've got a bit of an older one.
The surface of the water, otherwise, you might not survive.
It depends on how you go in and how high you are, aren't you?
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
they only do like 3 or 4 meters or something. So,
okay. Oh, so it's not like action
it's
movies where they shoot the gun into the water to break the surface of the water. Like, would I have a gun?
I don't know. It depends who's dropping you on this desert island.
Yeah.
Like I say, it's extremely hypothetical, and we've never really, apart from the helicopter, we've never got beyond.
Okay.
Who's taking you there?
Yeah, it's like, why am I in that helicopter? Am I hiding on the desert island, or am I being sent there for a punishment?
Perhaps they need to get rid of you after you wrote some copy.
Yeah.
That didn't go right, and perhaps maybe. All right, here it is.
Yeah.
So Suze works for a government agency.
Yeah.
Doing copywriting.
Doing their email newsletters.
You messed up on one. You divulged top secret information.
Yeah, I've given the name of all their secret agents in Bulgaria.
They need to get rid of you. Your insurance isn't going to cover it.
Yeah.
So your Prof Dem insurance is out the window. So what can we do with her? Chuck her on a desert island. We'll pretend she got lost on a boat or something. Helicopter. There you go. Whoop, off you go. See you later.
I still feel like
this is smarter out the helicopter.
I think there's easier ways to get rid of me.
Perhaps. I was going to crack a joke then, but I'm not going to go down that one. No, I'll tell you after we stop recording what that was going to be. Right.
Excellent.
Okay. Number 5.
Yes.
How many unread emails do you have on your phone right now?
Oh, Gmail. So work-based or private?
Both.
Okay. 707 private.
Yeah, okay, that's fair enough.
That says 99 plus. Just got 99 plus. I've got more than 100 unread on my work ones. But it's been summer and I've not gone to inbox 0. I know.
Oh, shame.
I pulled out the most important things, but I have to keep like the adverts just in case they're important.
You've got to keep that email from James Clear, that's his newsletter about the atomic habits, just to make sure
you don't know
you've read that one.
How many newsletters I signed up for to make sure, like, because it's research, a lot of it. It's like, oh, see what someone else is doing differently. So newsletters are the bane of my life because I have them. I
use a different email address for my newsletters to my actual one.
This is very clever.
Yeah,
it's like double SIM cards. Like, I can't do this.
So whenever someone says to me, whenever I've fallen into someone's funnel,
yes,
and they're like, "You want this top free guide to copywriting?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I do. Thanks, Suze." And then it's like, "Welcome to my website. Sign up for the newsletter. Put your name and email address in here." So I'm like, Richard, and then I'm like, info@rad-admin.co.uk. And then all those emails go to there. So then when people are sending me to my work email address,
it's important.
I'm like, yeah, there's an important one because it's actually come to my work email address.
That's good. That is a top tip there.
Top tip there.
For organisation. I quite like that. You should put a little marker on it and note it.
You know what you could even do? If you own your domain, so I think yours is suzannefreya.co.uk, isn't it?
Freya, yeah.
Cool. So what you could do, if you don't organise that yourself, get whoever does it for you to set you up. Maybe mail lists at suzannefreya.co.uk. When you go to the next mail listing, and then they'll all be in one place. Boom.
That's good. Yeah, I might do. I probably won't. I maybe just need to employ you. Would you?
Well, capacity issues, but let's talk about that at the end of the show.
He's very, very busy, people, but he's got a waiting list.
There is a waiting list coming. Cool. So that was question 5. I liked that one. Now, question 6.
Yes.
I'm excited for this one because we talked about this briefly before hitting record. And so, tell us what your husband does for a living.
He is a car designer. He is chief of exterior for Europe for the company Tata, which is the company, they have their own cars, but they own Jaguar Land Rover as well. So round where we are in the Midlands, we just say for ease, he works for Jaguar Land Rover.
Nice. Okay, so question 6. If you could afford any car, no need to worry about the budget, no tyres, no insurance, no nothing. You've not got to worry about any single cost for this car. Mm-hmm. What car are you having?
The Batmobile.
Nice. Didn't expect that. Thought you were going to say a Land Rover or Jaguar, but no, the Batmobile. Which Batmobile? The
one that Christian Bale drives.
Oh, that funny tank thing.
Yes, hit the tank. Where he like that.
Yeah.
Where he's like, sorry for people not watching. I'm on a lie down motorbike.
Yes, I like it.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Because you could do pretty much anything. It took off. It went underwater. It did everything. That one. I don't think it's fit on my drive, but...
No, I was going to say driving it in the UK might be a bit of a problem because I do think it's quite wide.
Yeah, very wide.
But I suppose, as long as you didn't have to take the kids anywhere, you could just pop out in the little motorbikey thing.
Yeah, just sleep
there. I can't imagine there's much use for the machine guns, but, driving around the Midlands, perhaps you could just, take out a few cars around those roundabouts.
If it was a really big helicopter that was going to drop me off in the sea for my desert island, if I had that, I could break the surface of the water with my machine guns.
Maybe that's how you ended up on the desert island. Batman found out that you stole his car, and so he was like, "Well, how can I get rid of you?" There you go, boom.
Her and the car. Damn it.
Yeah, like that. There's the car too. Have it around your desert island. There's not much jet fuel in it though.
No, that's it. You're just stuck.
All right. That is quickfire questions done. I like it. It's great. And obviously we now know more about Suze. Okay, so in previous episodes, though not the last 2, I've done CV Library's most popular jobs of 2024. I saw this in the newspaper.
Yes.
It was actually in between me.
Yes.
Recording the first episode and in between that and recording the second episode.
Okay.
So the second episode, we did the top 3. Do you fancy it? But since then, apart from the last 2 episodes where it mysteriously disappeared, I've been doing a top 10 quick yes or no of CV libraries, most popular jobs of 2024.
Okay.
So I'll run through the list, Suze. You give me a yes or no.
Mm-hmm.
If I like your answer, or if I see like your face lights up, then we might deep dive into it a little bit. Otherwise, we'll skim quickly through this.
Okay.
So that we can get through to the last point, and then we can kind of get wrapped up, because I think we're already heading for the longest episode yet.
I'm sorry.
No, it's great. It's great. Okay, so cool.
Yep.
Here we go then.
Okay.
Bear in mind that CV Library have nothing to do with this. I just saw it in the newspaper, and I just thought that's quite good for my podcast. So, yes, no affiliation whatsoever until I talk to them.
Yeah.
Then fingers crossed. All right.
Okay.
So, number 10, inventory operator. Do you fancy that?
Nope.
Manual line operator.
No.
Food and beverage team member.
No.
Packaging operator.
Kitching.
Packaging.
Packaging. I was like, are these just packaging operator? No.
Head of social sustainability.
Yes.
And coming in at number 5, customer contact advisor.
No.
Number 4, CCTV controller.
Yeah.
Number 3, TikTok presenter.
No.
Not a fan of TikTok?
No, I haven't got it. I would lose myself. It's bad enough that Facebook now does videos on there. I can't. No.
Nice. Number 2, my personal favourite, theme park historic character.
Not for me, but I see it for you. I see it.
Yeah. See, obviously, I'm not too far from Paulton's Park, so I could dress up as George or Peppa Pig all day in that suit.
All day. All day. No, but it has to be historic. You just said historic.
Oh, historic. Yeah, of course. Well, there was a castle there, wasn't there?
There was a castle. Side tangent, just really quickly. Do you watch Formula One?
No.
Moving on.
Yeah, so Uno reverse card there. I like it. All right, number 1 of CV Library's most popular jobs of 2024, data management officer.
What? No. I would watch the CCTV.
Yeah.
Quite happily.
Okay,
And
cool.
social interactions. Yeah, I'm all over that. I can do that.
Yeah, good. Perfect. Right, cool. Right, moving on from that then.
Okay.
So as we approach the end of the show, and I've got a funny feeling that we're going to have an after show with Suze. So this is part of the show, actually. So what do you want to be if and when you grow up? Of course, the growing up isn't completely necessary.
Oh, good. You could go really cheesy and you could say happy, but I am pretty happy, so that's fine. I would love to finish this novel. I would love to be a successful published novelist. That's
Nice.
me and my best use of words, copywriter, boom, out.
Yes. Yeah, it only took you a couple of tries, but you got there in the end. I like it.
Editing and proofreading, people.
Yes. So if you do need a copywriter, Suze is your woman.
Just take a few goes.
Yes, cool. I would love for you to be a published, successful novelist.
Thank you. Thank you.
And hopefully you make great stories and they're good to read. I look forward to reading them on Kindle Unlimited.
Yeah, on your desert island with your back.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Is there anything else on that? No, I don't think so. So I think then, before we find another tangent to zip off onto in a second, let's start the wrap up process. So tell people where you hang out and where they can find you, Suze.
People can find me very much on Instagram. That's the best place that I'm always hanging out at, which is at Suzanne Freer, all one word with an underscore at the end. I've got a couple of freebies that people can download and get on my email list, and you can all use your new special email addresses that Rich has just given you the the top tip to do. I have a how to write your own sales page that engages and sells, and also defining your ideal customer and developing language to speak to them. So if you go to my website, which is suzannefreer.co.uk, you'll be able to find my freebies on there.
Nice, I love it. So a couple of things pop up from there. Thoughts? Mailing list, what do you use?
Oh, please excuse my barking puppy. My mailing list, mine comes from Flowdesk. And this was on a recommendation of a very wonderful friend who actually did my branding and website, but it's someone I've known a long time. And she's one of my biggest cheerleaders. She's an absolutely wonderful person. She is Monroe Creative. Anybody out there, please check her out. She's fantastic. But yes, she'd used Flowdesk for quite some time, so it's a recommendation from her, and it's very much about the aesthetics with Flowdesk for me. I can make it look very beautiful. She's great because I write so much for a lot of other people that sometimes writing for myself is at the bottom of my list. So if I can make it look good and I enjoy the process of it, that makes me want to do it more.
Cool. And secondly then, so do check out Monroe Creative.
Yes, Monroe Creative. I'll send the details so you can put in the show notes.
Oh yeah, we'll put it in the show notes. Cool. And then my other thought is, you obviously hang out a lot on Instagram. I would have thought, and I think we did mention this at Paulson's Park, on the Yellow Tuxedo Funpreneur Day.
Oh yeah, that one.
Yeah, that one.
But you can pop in the show
check them out. Check them out too.
You should.
Alan's actually coming on the podcast next week.
Whoop whoop.
I know. I'm excited.
Just Alan?
Sorry?
Just Alan, not Emily?
Just Alan, yeah. Hopefully Emily's going to come on later.
Wow.
Well, I've just given my plot away.
Oh no, sorry.
I know. Don't worry. No one's going to listen to this.
No one's going to listen this far. They've signed on.
Yeah. They're like, oh, great, Richard yammering on again. But yeah, essentially, so I said to Alan yesterday, I said, I've got this idea. I said, obviously, we can kind of rock up in the Riverside room.
Yeah.
And then I could be like, Yellow Tuxedo, Alan and Emily, Braithwaite, the dynamic duo, the terrible twosome, Cagney and Lacey, Tango and Cash, do everything together. But we're going to do your podcast separately, aren't we? So see you later, Emily. And then she could off screen, you know?
Yeah. I mean, you have given it away now, but it's also a teaser. If anyone's listening this far in, wait for that one. That one's going to be a winner.
I'm going to do a magic clip of this show to advertise that show.
Brilliant. You're going to use my chat to advertise a different chat.
Yeah.
Thank you. I love you.
I know. Right, so.
Yes.
So my second question, or my second thought on your wrap-up there was Instagram is where you hang out most. And I like hanging out on Instagram, but it is slightly controversial, the old Instagram, isn't it? Because as business professionals and service providers, which we both are, check out our profiles and buy our services. But we should be on LinkedIn, shouldn't we?
Yes. I mean, I am on LinkedIn. I am. I think it's starting to shake it off a little bit, but for such a long time, it's very much a corporate job board, was LinkedIn. It is changing, it is evolving, and they're bringing in some brilliant stuff. And it's just creating another habit for me to post regularly to there. So, as I said, social media is not my thing. It doesn't necessarily bring me an awful lot of joy. But I'm practicing it, and I try and do it regularly because I know it's so useful, and it's a great way to meet and interact with people. So I focus on Instagram because it's the easiest one for me. It's the one that I can dip in and out of easier and schedule, and it's great. Whereas LinkedIn, I am trying harder. I am on there as well. You can just search up my name and you'll find me, no problems. Obviously, I mean, one thing it's really good for is that you can put your recommendations on there and you can put your experience, and people can, it's almost like a little mini website. You can really, hone it down to advertise yourself better. But yes, I am on there as well. We should use it more. It's a great way to interact, especially if you want clients who've got businesses. Business to business is obviously really great there. So.
Yeah. Cool. Nice. Which segues me into TikTok and the conversation I had yesterday.
Yeah.
Segue was specifically for your benefit there. It's not a word I use normally. But I was talking to, I had another guest on yesterday who uses TikTok purely because of the organic reach that you get on there. So you may want to look into your business page for TikTok. Because all it takes is that one, and then Suzanne Freer will be a household name. Queen of copywriting.
Yeah, I mean, which would be lovely, wouldn't it? But
And well, when you publish your book,
yeah, I'll do it
definitely
then.
get onto TikTok.
I'll do it then. But
Yeah.
you know, you say like household name and stuff, and just how much like, because the kids are getting into like watching stuff now and seeing how many followers they've got. So they're always asking me, how many followers do you have? And I'm like, yeah, not many, darlings. I'm not an influencer yet. But my son, bless his tiny 9-year-old heart, thinks it's amazing that he can Google my name and I come up. He thinks that blows his mind. So he's done it at school a couple of times. He shows, my mum's on the internet. Sounds dodgy.
Yeah.
No, it's not dodgy. But what he started doing, we've found on our iPad, when you look at the past searches, there was one that said, who is Suzanne Freer, Creative Copyright's son? He wanted to find out if he was on the internet. And he wasn't. And I was like, yeah, but there's no other son in there. You're just too small. But it was really sweet.
At the end of yesterday's podcast, off record, we talked about how we talked about our daughters, me and the guest from yesterday.
Yeah.
His is a little bit older than mine, but we were saying like that my daughter wants to come on this podcast.
Aww.
She wants to kind of interview me so that I have to answer my own questions, as it were. And he said, "Oh, that's a great idea." Because obviously, then she will have that then for the rest of her life. You know, this podcast will be published on the internet, and so it's almost like a digital legacy.
Yeah.
And so then, we said like it's really nice to think of it that way, because you do learn lots from people, even from just an audio podcast. Never mind a video one where you can see my face features and everything and things like that, and my mannerisms and the way I talk and things.
Yeah.
So essentially, if she wanted to have children down the line, and the technology was still around, hopefully there's no like massive global apocalypse where we're all like living in caves again or whatever.
Fingers crossed.
But then for the God knows how long future, I and other small creators will pass that down to our kids, and they'll be able to just revisit. It's not like we can see. It's not like I'm going to see my nan again. Well, like I'm going to see my nan on a video, but not when she was like on her 30s.
No, I know. Yeah, I always marvel when you see like, if there's someone's passed away quite sadly, or quite often with famous people when they look back on their lives, and it seems to be like all the videos that their families did, and we didn't have a video recorder. My dad was a head teacher of a primary school, and he brought one home once, but it was when I had shingles, and it made the shingles were really painful and made me have muscle spasms, and that's what he recorded. So that's the only thing we have. We don't have any videos, but now obviously we do, and so it's madness now how much everything's there, but everything's there forever, which is also quite scary. There's a lot of my life that I'm glad isn't on video. Yes, there is that. There is a time period where you think, yes, we did miss out on that, and it's quite a good thing. I'm sure there's videos of people, not me, riding mopeds up the road with no helmet on and stuff like that, and things. Not that I've ever done that. Never. Silly stuff that I haven't actually done. Prove it, Mr. Officer. But yes, I'm glad that can't be shown in a court of law. Yes, I mean, I think there's a statute of limitation, probably.
Oh, well, I don't know. Maybe. All right. So, let's wrap up this bit. I'm sure we'll have a mini side quest in a second that you'll think of something. But otherwise, thanks for coming on the show, Suze. Really appreciate you coming on. Thanks to everyone for listening. Thanks to everyone for watching. I'll be back with someone else next week. Peace out. Thanks for joining us on Rad-Ventures. Don't forget to subscribe via your favourite platform. Always happy to chat, so hit me up in the DMs. And I'll see you on the next Rad-Venture. Just let me shut the dog up a second, and then I'll be back.
Trumping, I'm going to let him out. Go on, off you go.
Yeah, sorry about that. Normally I'm all right, but because we just obviously everything's changed with the old daily routine.
Yes.
So he's like, "Where's my mum?" And I want to go upstairs. I'm like, "She's not there. She's gone to work. She told you that this morning."
Aww.
So yes,
communicate you in the human language. Whereas, see, my dog was sat next to me, and because the door's shut, because I was trying to keep noise out for this lovely chat, he couldn't get out because I'm in the garden room, and he's against hardwood floors, and he's just trumping. But they
Yeah.
didn't pause. So literally, at one point, you were talking, and I was like, "Is Richard all right?" But it was the dog. It was going. I was just like, oh my god. So he's gone. So that's good.
Yeah. Nice. Good. Right. So following that brief just attending to of the dogs, do you think the show went okay?
Yeah. No, I think it was shit.
No.
I think there's a lot of tangents in there. I really enjoyed it though. I had a really nice time. I love following a brain fart and seeing where it goes.
That's what this show's all about. It's all about the journey. But I was talking to my friend the other day, and I won't point fingers or name names. And I said to him, he said, "Oh, I like the look of your podcast. Oh, I've already like reduced the field down because I said he."
I mean, do you only have a couple of male friends, or?
Yeah, maybe. Well, like I don't know, 2, maybe 3.
Is it Alan from the Yellow Tuxedo?
No, it's not.
It's the other one.
But yeah, it's the other one. But no. So he was saying, "Oh yeah, you know, your podcast looks to be going good. I've seen all your little clips and stuff." I was like, "Thanks. It's not actually launching until September the 30th, so International Podcast Day." So that's when it's going to launch. So I wanted to get it all ready because I didn't want another part-time job as well as my business goings on.
Right.
So he says, "Oh well, hopefully it's all okay. You'd hate for someone to describe it as like awful listening, wouldn't you?" And I was like, "Yeah, I would." And I was like, "Actually, I might put described by this person as awful listening because then people are going to listen to it."
Who is this bringer of doom that you surround yourself with?
Yeah, maybe
I need it in that way. Like from what I've seen, it could be awful listening.
Yeah, it's like I've seen your clips. It looks awful listening. No, the way I describe my podcast so far.
Right.
Is when you see a movie trailer and you think that looks really good, and then you go and watch the film and all the best bits of the film were in the trailer.
Yeah.
Or there's a bit in the trailer that's really good that's not even in the film.
Yeah. Why do they do that?
I don't know. But that's how I'm describing it to people.
Brilliant.
I mean, obviously it's me being funny and ironic because it's a fantastic show.
You are funny and ironic and modest. I love it.
But yeah, I know. But yeah, so I am going to actually describe it somewhere as awful listening, just to see if it helps with people to listen.
And they will, because that's what we're like as a nation. We have a morbid sense of curiosity. That's why true crime is so big, isn't it? Like, we love to hear the bad stuff. We want to hear the gossip, the stuff that went wrong. We want to laugh. I mean, you've been framed, for God's sake. It's been rough years. We just, Schadenfreude. We love the shit stuff. So this episode is really bad. So I think we'll do wonderfully.
I think because Riverside affiliate link available. Essentially, once I finish click record, I can click magic clips, and it will find the fun bits for me. But I think just then, when you said this is really shit, and whatever the next sentence was, I'm going to clip that as a cut, as like a little episode-y bit, and everyone's going to listen. I think is what you said.
Absolutely.
I'm going to do that as one of the clips of the social media stuff.
There you go. Yeah, absolutely. You should, and then it'll get to the end. Like they'll have to listen to the whole thing. Clickbait. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, it is. I don't know what I'm going to call this episode though. The northern,
just call it
northern
long.
Copywriter.
A slow descent into madness.
Yeah, our longest episode to date.
Don't ask her to summarise anything.
Featuring Suze. Yeah.
It's been amazing.
Good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it. It's really good. And coming up on the show, actually.
Yes.
Remember when we went on Miss Rabbit's helicopter ride in Peppa Pig World?
Yes.
As 5 grown adults with no children around us, and we waited in a queue for like an hour to get on this ride. Yeah. So you had to go in with Caroline and Laura, didn't you?
I did. Yeah.
And because there was only 4 seats. And there was 5 of us. So I went in with Gail. Gail is also coming on the podcast.
Oh, I love Gail. I mentioned her in one of my social media posts because I still love business cards. Loads of people are saying business cards have gone. They're dead. My God, get with technology, QR codes, all this lot. No, No, business cards. And her business card is amazing. So for those, obviously, if you're still here and you're still watching, she has a pair of pants because her thing is she's a enrichment officer. So she helps people get out there and do stuff. Put your big girl pants on, or just your big pants if you're men, or not. Don't identify as female, whatever you like. But I think that's a really good way of using your catchphrase or whatever and making it really memorable. And I love a good business card. So yeah, I mentioned it the other day. I love a bit of Gail. She's fantastic.
I love the fact that that's on your desk.
Oh god, yeah. Because it's a pair of pants.
And
Gail
actually does have a massive pair of purple underpants too that she uses in her social media videos and stuff. So
love it.
Yeah, check her out. Gail, enrichment coach.
Yes. She's
and yes, obviously, quick advert for the show. She will be on a couple of episodes after this.
Yes. She's fantastic.
She might be. It's actually a few more episodes.
Me.
But yeah, and I thought something else then. I think it's gone.
I've addled your brain so much. Before we came on and you were saying how, you were recording quite a few, you're sort of getting quite a few batched and ready to go out. And, you're quite tired after an average recording. And if your average recordings are around 45 minutes, I've pretty much murdered you.
Yeah.
I've drained you for everything.
Yeah, you can see it in my eyes.
I know.
Like, they started off and they were like smooth like this.
Yeah.
And now it's like
absolutely. And I'm worried about your beard that it's thinned down because you've had to play with it quite a lot to just
since we started
sane. Because I think that's what keeps you centered, isn't it? Touching your beard keeps you in the moment.
Yeah, it does. It's like and when we started this episode, I had fewer grey hairs in my beard. It's been on that long.
Yes.
People are going to be like,
we started this 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's like, what episode is this? How long has this been going on? It's like they're in like the vortex or something.
You do look far more like Gandalf than you did before.
I do. Apparently, old Ian McKellen, cheeky knight of the realm that he is.
Yeah.
He won't tip up the hat. He's taking a break from acting, but for Lord of the Rings bits, he's like, no, call me, I'm there.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I love that for him because, especially with acting and stuff, why should you? Like, life has older characters in it, so why would there not be? I mean, look after yourself, do what you want to do, but yeah, I think it's brilliant. I do like him. I've seen him a couple of times in Stratford upon Avon, just wandering around.
Have you like approached him and be like, all right, Ian, you cheeky knight in the realm, you?
No, I didn't do that. But I have walked slap bang into the Pet Shop Boys. Like my face made contact with their bodies because I just wasn't looking and I walked into them.
Nice.
But that was in Frankfurt, not here.
Oh, I once in Weymouth walked around a corner with my partner and I looked at a guy and he looked at me and I looked at him and he looked at me and then I kind of shrugged and walked off. I was like, turned to my partner and went, was that? And she went, yeah, that was Risa Fans.
Nice. And
I was like,
looked at you.
Should we go back? And I was like, and she's like, no. I think it was, I looked at him and I went, oh, I know him. And then I was like, who is he?
Yeah.
And then he's looking at me like,
recognise me.
Yeah. He's like, oh my God, Fans. And then I looked at him again like, no, I don't think I know him. Where do I know him from? Oh. And then obviously it was like, shrug, I'm busy, I've got things to do, off we go. And then it was kind of like, oh. I was like, was he looking at me? Was he like dogging me up? Did he want a fight? Or was it the fact that... And she was like, no, that was Risa Fans. He probably thought you recognised him as a famous actor. I was like, oh, cool, yeah, nice.
Nice.
Yeah, there you go.
I saw a guy in the airport once in LA, and I still don't know his name. I've looked it up a couple of times, but I forget it. So he's done quite a lot of films, normally with Ben Stiller. And those are the films that he does. And he was in one, and I think it's Along Came Polly. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
Okay.
Yeah. And he's the scuba diving instructor, and he just goes, are you for scuba diving? And he does that. That's his line, and it's brilliant, and I love him. And I stood in an airport pointing at him, going, are you for scuba diving? And he just kept walking away like, oh my God, why won't she leave me alone?
Yeah, like, oh, see you later. I'm out.
Yeah. But he was
blessed.
So that's...
Just quickly on Gandalf and Sir Ian McKellen.
Yes.
I've just thought of something. So with recording this so far in advance, so that people don't get a bit worried about it, what I do is I do all the like a quick edit, post it to YouTube unlisted, so then it can be like checked by my partner to make sure Richard's done everything okay.
Thank
and
you.
Richard
Shout out to
hasn't.
your partner. Thank you.
Richard doesn't have well, she's technically Marie. She is a person herself. She's not my possession.
I didn't know if you wanted to give her a email. That's why I didn't ask.
No, that's fine. I do keep referring to her as my partner, and she's like, "I'm not yours, I'm like, "No, I know you're not my possession. You are a person yourself, Marie. Marie is my partner." There you go. So
love it.
So anyway, and then I offered to send it to my guests and say, if you want a quick watch beforehand, because with the preamble to the Rad-Ventures show, it's always if you think it's if we do it, you think that wasn't my best work, or I think you were a bit shit rich, we can always redo it. That's always on the table, yeah.
Yeah.
So so I offered to send them the YouTube link that is unlisted presently.
Yeah.
And I do say, bear in mind, it's only an auto edit, so there might be a few bits where the sound is altered or anything like that. But as I send it, I always send a GIF.
A gift or a GIF? Hang on,
Sorry, a GIF.
If you're going to send me a present.
A GIF. GIF.
Okay. Damn it.
And it's Gandalf in Lord of the Rings saying, "Keep it secret, keep it safe."
Not, you shall not pass.
No. But yeah, maybe I'll start sending gifts out to people that have been on the show.
Little gift. Now we're talking presents now, not gifts. Hang on.
Yeah, presents. Yeah, presents.
Yeah, I'm here for the gifts. Yeah.
Yeah. What presents should we send out?
Cookies. Every time cookies.
Cookies.
Yeah.
What if a guest was gluten intolerant?
And a card.
Okay. I shall refer all guests to this episode epilogue.
You were going to get a cookie, but...
Yeah, you're going to get a cookie, but Sue said send you a card.
A card. Do you know what, though? I did a summit recently. I did 2 summits quite close together. And one stood out from the other so much because they took my details and then they sent me a little gift. They sent me a little card. And,
nice.
And I just thought, they just didn't have to. Because you get, how it works with a summit. You talk and your face gets seen, and people, if they want to, sign up for your email list. And hopefully your business grows from it. You get quite a bit out of a summit, so they don't have to, because you're doing a favour for them, they're doing a favour for you. It's mutually beneficial. It's just really nice. So
yeah, I think it's nice, and I think yes, I may look even if I just send a card to all the guests that have been on the show, just to say thank you. Then I think I might do that.
That would be nice. That's a nice thing. Yeah. I think it's a nice thing. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
All right.
Let's wrap up as the longest episode of the Rad-Ventures podcast so
I'm
far.
so sorry.
Well, it's not
I'm
wrap
sorry,
up.
Marie.
It's stop.
I'm sorry to Marie.
It's not wrap up. We've done the wrap up.
We've done
this
the wrap
is the stop episode. Stop record. But when I do hit record, don't leave, because we've still got to wait for the upload.
Okay, I won't go anywhere.
Cool. Right.
Clicking
the stop now.
Love
thanks.
You, bye.
Thanks for listening. If you got this far, everyone, thanks for listening.
Yeah, you deserve a medal. You'll get a card.
Yeah. You can have a card too. Drop me a DM on Instagram. Radmin _assist.
Yeah.
All right. Click and stop now.